So starting your nutrition business can definitely feel a little bit overwhelming at times because you have to focus on everything from registering your business, starting your website, creating an email list, creating handouts for your clients, and the list goes on and on. Now, back when I started my nutrition business in 2014, I personally felt all of this confusion and overwhelm, and it took me nearly a year to get my business started. And I do not want that for you. So today I want to share with you 11 ways to start your nutrition business now without the overwhelm that I was feeling when I got started. And this is a really clear, easy path that you can take to get started today. If we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Stephanie Long and I'm a business coach for nutritionists. I help nutritionists start their business and sign their first or next paying client. And if you want to learn more tips and tricks on how to start your nutrition business or grow it to the next level, hit the subscribe button right here. So the first thing you want to do when starting your nutrition business is get clear and identify your business vision. So this is when you can really start to dream big and think about who you want to help, what you love talking about, what you envision for the future, and really start to look at other nutritionists or practitioners out there doing what you want to be doing one day, whether that's one-on-one nutrition coaching, running a group program, having a meal planning subscription service. The world is your oyster. So you can really think big here, and you really have to sit down and think through, and map out those dreams that you have so we have a vision for the future. So that's the first thing you want to do. So the next thing we want to do is actually set ourselves up for success. And the way that I love to do this is by looking at my schedule. And there are two ways that I like to schedule my time out when I am first starting my business. The first is time blocking. So that's actually where you will take specific days during the week and actually allot a specific task to those days. So Mondays, maybe that's all about building your website. So for the next 6 Mondays, you're going to build your website. And then maybe Wednesdays, you work on some behind the scenes like client administration. Maybe Fridays you work on social media content. You can really set that up however you want, but having specific days for specific tasks works really, really well. And then the next thing is to break those tasks down. So instead of just saying Mondays, I'm going to build my website, break it down a little bit further. So maybe you're going to say on the first Monday, I'm going to pick my new website template and I'm going to look through it and kind of strategize how I want things to look. And then on the next Monday, I'm actually going to pick all of my colors and my fonts and add the photos to my website. So you can see what I mean. This is setting ourselves up for success so that we're actually checking things off our to-do list. So the next thing might come as a bit of a surprise, but it's actually mastering your mindset. And this is really, really important when starting your nutrition business, but also the whole way through, because being an entrepreneur can be tough. I'll be perfectly honest. There are so many ups and so many downs. And if you haven't mastered your mindset, or at least understand that there's going to be probably some roadblocks that come into your way, then you might get really down when that happens. So kind of knowing that off the bat, knowing that there's going to be the ups and there's going to be the downs, that's going to really help you out. And one way that you can really support yourself through this is by getting a really strong support system. So that could be, friends or family members, another entrepreneur, or even another nutritionist that's also building their business. This is a great person or people to bring into your circle and actually have support you and you support them while you're going through the process. And then when you hit those roadblocks, you have those people there to support you. So now let's actually talk about some of the things that you're going to need in place to run your nutrition business and finally launch it. So the first thing is that you're going to want to register your business. So at least here in Canada, you're usually picking between being a sole proprietor or an incorporated business. And there's lots of pros and cons to both, but you do want to pick that business entity to choose, what your business registration is going to look like. So that can be really dependent on you, your personal finances, your personal situation. And it's hard for me to give you advice, but just knowing that one of those two options is out there and you just need to pick the best one for you right now. The next thing you're going to want to do is get your domain name. So that would be your www dot. So you can purchase that somewhere like GoDaddy, or my personal favorite is Hover. And once you have your domain, you can also buy a professional email address. So that could be like hello@yourdomain.com or info at something that somebody can email you and know that they are emailing your business email. And then also you might need to look into getting any business licenses in your city or your town. So it's going to be really dependent where you live, but those are some of the foundations for registering your business and getting that foundation set up. So something really important you want to consider when starting your nutrition business is that likely down the road, you're going to be working with nutrition clients. So we want to have everything in place for you to get started when that time comes. So what I'm talking about is getting all of your forms and handouts in place for your nutrition clients. And some that you might want to consider are a client intake form, a client contract, something like a food and a mood journal, or other handouts that you might use with your nutrition clients. Now, if you're looking for a place to store all of the handouts and really have that communication hub for your clients, I would love to recommend my favorite client management platform, Practice Better. Practice Better, again, is a client management platform where clients can schedule themselves in, make their payment, send all of the forms, and you can actually communicate with your client right in that platform. Again, I can't recommend it higher. And if you want to try it out and get 20% off your first 4 months with Practice Better, check the code below and you can actually get that discount right now. So on the topic of working with clients, we want to make sure that even though we're working really hard to set a solid foundation, so once the client comes in, everything is really nice and streamlined, we also want to make sure that once the client books in, they feel like really secure and like you're the right practitioner for them. So what I mean here is developing a really good client coaching process from the time they sign up to the time that they work with you and beyond. And what this means is really looking at that first intake session you might run with a client and talking to them about, the process that you're going to work with them in the next X amount of time, any housekeeping details of what they can expect about your sessions or your time together, any handouts they need to fill out, how your time together is going to work, how to communicate with you between sessions, and so on. So really thinking through, from the time they sign up to the time that you end up working together, what does that onboarding process look like? The next big thing that I highly recommend you spend some time thinking about is your nutrition niche and really nailing that down. And you might be asking yourself, well, why can't I work with everyone? And I just want to be really clear, there's a possibility that you could help everyone with every problem, but sometimes when you try to talk to everyone and help every single person that needs nutrition support, you end up actually talking to no one because you're not saying anything specific that's really resonating with someone. So, that might look like saying, hey, I can help you with your nutrition and your well-being, and that's a little bit more of a generic message. But if you say something like, I can help you with your PCOS or balance your hormones or help you with your bloating and digestion, that's a lot more specific. So we really want to focus on niching down as much as we can. And if you need help with niching down and figuring out who you want to help, how you can help them, and how to choose a profitable niche, I'm going to invite you to check out and download my free Nail Your Nutrition Niche guide, which you can download below. So now let's move on to number 8, which is planning out your nutrition programs. And actually, we have a little visitor here to help us along the next part as well. So the thing that we want to do is, now that we have all of our foundations set up and we have a clear idea of our niche, we really want to start to plan out how are we going to help our nutrition clients? And I want to preface this by saying this conversation is mainly going to be about one-on-one nutrition clients, not about a group program or about an online program. And yes, although you can do those things like an online or group program, I highly recommend starting your business with one-on-one nutrition clients so that you can learn in a one-on-one way versus a group program where it's a little bit harder to start that way and manage a bunch of different expectations and health issues and personalities. So I like to recommend start with one-on-one if you can. Now, there's a few ways you can break down your nutrition offerings. The first way is doing a nutrition package. So this would be packaging together a certain amount of sessions. And I like to recommend something like 2 or 3 sessions so that your client's coming in for their first session and then coming in for a few follow-ups versus just coming in once, learning everything they need to learn, and then they never come back and they never implement anything. So this ensures that you're giving more time to those clients and you're creating this package so that they know it's not just a one-off session, they are coming back again. Okay, the next thing is a monthly program. So offering something like a 1 month, a 3 month, or a 6 month program where you now have a time frame that you're helping someone in. So not only are you going to offer sessions, you might also offer support in between those sessions in that time frame. Now, I really love 3 months because 3 months seems to be that sweet spot where people feel like that's enough time to get support, where 1 month sometimes is a little bit short and 6 months can be a little bit long. So if you're going to do something like a monthly program, maybe start off with like 1 to 3 months. And then if the client needs more help, you could extend it a little bit longer. And then the last thing you could consider setting up is something called a signature program. So a signature program is probably right for you if you're very clear on the niche and the specific type of people that you want to help. So let's say you want to become a nutritionist that helps people with their digestion. So you could create a signature program. Maybe it's like a 3-month Beat the Belly Bloat program where you're specifically helping them transform their gut health, transform their digestion. Now this is very specific and has a very specific outcome. And a signature program is great because you can say, at the start of the program, you're likely feeling XYZ, but at the end of the program, I'm going to help you feel XYZ. So it's very transformative, where sometimes a nutrition package of sessions or a nutrition program that doesn't really have a specific outcome can be a little bit harder to sell, where if we're doing something like a signature program and we're saying by the end of the program, you're going to feel this way, that can actually really help for your nutrition client to see why it would be important to invest. So just some food for thought. There's no right or wrong here. Definitely one thing I would recommend though is try to avoid offering a one-off session if you can and try to group things together. So just a quick note, something else you're going to want to consider is pricing your nutrition programs. Now, before you just go and pick a price out of thin air or charge exactly what the other nutritionists are charging out there, I want you to consider, are you just packaging some sessions together or are you creating something like a signature program? Because all of these different offerings are going to have a different price point. So that's the first thing to consider. The next thing to consider is, what is your experience level? How much money do you need to be making personally every single month to cover your expenses? How many clients do you want to be working with per month? Because if you're only able to work with 1 or 2 clients, you don't want to price your program so low that you're barely making any money. So there's so many variables that come into play when pricing your programs, but that's just some food for thought when really starting to think about where to start with pricing. There's no right or wrong here. Do what's best for you, and you can always raise your prices later down the road. I would also really caution you not to do things very low priced or free. Charge what your time is worth, and then you can always increase your prices in the future, but definitely find something that feels good right now. All right, exciting news. Now that we have almost everything in place, we have our solid foundation, our business is registered, we have our client onboarding process in place, our niche figured out, our programs created. Now we can start signing the clients and really getting those first few clients in. Now there's a few different marketing techniques that you can use here, but the number one thing is putting yourself out there. This is when you really need to be visible, because if no one knows about you or your program, nobody's gonna book in, unfortunately. So we really want to make sure that you're being out there, being consistent, if that means showing up on social media and just sharing about your programs. Now, the other thing that you can do is really tap into your network here. Follow up with friends and family, or maybe you worked with some test clients or some practice clients while you were in school. Follow up with these people, let them know that you've launched your business, let them know about your program or programs, and give them some information, because if maybe they aren't the one that's going to work with you, but they can pass that information on to their network of people. You can also try to get in front of some new audiences by running a workshop. So getting live in front of an audience and sharing what you know about a certain topic. You can run a giveaway to get more people in your audience that way. You can do something like a nutrition challenge, a 3 to 5 day challenge to get more people in. Again, it's just about creating volume, getting more people and more eyes on your business. And then it's up to you to be putting yourself out there. So that might mean, again, getting on social media, sharing about your business, or asking those friends and family to really shout you out. But this is really when you need to put boots to the ground and, really push yourself out there. Don't wait for the clients to come to you. It's your time to get out there and shine. So a few more ideas for marketing your nutrition business and getting in front of more audiences would be to start an email list. So to actually create something like a freebie, a free guide, a free meal plan to engage people to join your email list. And that's going to grow your audience. But that way, people on your email list, you can send a weekly or a monthly email to nurture them to the point where they might want to work with you one-on-one inside your programs. You can also leverage other people's communities by doing like a community swap. So maybe you have another practitioner come into your audience and you go into their audience and do a training. So that way you're getting more access to a bigger community. You could do a Facebook or Instagram live. You could do a guest training in somebody's community. Maybe if they have their own program, you hop in and you share some advice there. And any way you can really increase your reach is really what we want to think about here. So on that, increasing your reach, you could even think about doing a guest podcast episode. So reaching out to a podcast that's in your niche and asking to be on that show, pitching them, telling them how you can bring value to their audience, and that's going to put you in front of a bigger audience. You could also do a guest blog post, which could really help to not only share your knowledge on a specific topic, but again, potentially convert that reader of the blog post to become a follower of yours or to join your email list. There are so many things you can do here. And the last one that I'll share is to actually partner with another practitioner. Maybe this is a naturopath, a medical doctor, another nutritionist, maybe this is chiropractor, somebody in, the health realm, and actually create a referral partnership. So when they have a client that would be a good fit for you, they send them your way, and maybe you send some clients their way. And it's a really good way to, support clients by making this referral that's really going to be best for them and their needs. So lots of ideas on how to grow your reach, get visible, put you in front of new audiences, and I just suggest that you try one out and see what works. And the last thing that I want you to do when starting your nutrition business, just like I mentioned earlier, is finding a really good support system and partnering up and connecting with some like-minded entrepreneurs. So other people growing a business, other nutritionists who are starting their business, other nutritionists further along who could mentor you and help you move along the process a little bit easier. Really just finding people to be in your corner so you're not doing this alone. And the last thing would be asking for help. You don't need to do this alone. There are many programs out there, including my own called Launch Your Nutrition Biz, that actually help you get started so you're not struggling and you're not feeling overwhelmed in the process. Or there's many programs or many resources out there that will help you get started and feel connected to a community so you're not doing it by yourself. So there are my 11 ways to actually start your nutrition business and actually have this roadmap set out for you. So if you just follow kind of step by step everything that I suggested here today, you're going to be well on your way to having a successful nutrition business. So thanks so much for watching the video. I hope some of the tips today will help you with starting your nutrition business and signing your first paid clients. Now, if you want to check out any of the programs that I mentioned in this video, you can look below and all of the links will be there. And if you have any questions and you need some support, don't hesitate to reach out in the comments. I'll definitely be in there helping you out with what I know about starting my own nutrition business and some of my knowledge from helping the hundreds of clients that I've also helped start their own nutrition businesses. So thanks again for coming. Please hit subscribe button and I'd love to see you around.